theme is the subject of talk, a piece of writing, a person's thoughts, or a topic. In comparison, a symbol is a thing that represents something else in literature. It is easy to confuse these two things with a motif. Although very similar, a motif is much different. A motif is a recurring subject, theme, or an idea. In literature we've studied this semester, motifs have been used numerous times in all of our stories. Starting off with Anglo-Saxon literature, Beowulf is primarily about heroic deeds conquered throughout the story. Beowulf's motif is related to Christian medieval culture. The three monsters in Beowulf represent ominous signs from God. As in Beowulf, it is known that the monster Grendel is a descendant from the biblical figure Cain that killed his brother Abel. The relation of the motif in Beowulf and common Christianity is sin. More of this is better understood when we read further along to where Grendel commits sin by slaying all of the Danes. Motifs are also found in medieval literature, especially in stories such as the Canterbury Tales. Within the Canterbury Tales there are two parts, the Wife of Bath's Tale and the Pardoner's Tale. Firstly, of the Canterbury Tales is the Wife of Bath's Tale. Within the Wife of Bath's Tale, the knight's code of honor is broken. The knight commits a crime, which is raping a girl, and is sentenced to death by the king. The king wishes to chop off the knight's head, but the queen goes against him and saves him by requesting he be sent on a quest to receive a pardon for his sin. In the end, the writer allows us to understand that the knight has committed a sin and will never be able to regain his code of honor. The knight later faces the problem with the discovery of true beauty. He comes across a woman that he considers to be an old hag. He refuses to marry her because she is too poor and doesn't rise to the standards of true beauty. Secondly, from the Canterbury Tales is the Pardoner's Tales. We learn here that a code of honor, which is trust, is broken. The three men go on a journey together. On this journey, they abandon their trust in one another and decide to use murder and pain to gain what they consider more important, which is wealth. Next comes Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. This piece of literature shows us many motifs, one being chivalry. Chivalry is the combination of qualities expected of an ideal knight, much like the knight's code of honor. Christian morality is brought about with Gawain's adherence to 5 things. These 5 things include friendship, generosity, chastity, courtesy, and piety. On his journey to the knight's green chapel, Gawain's personal virtues to these 5 things is highly tested. Gawain adheres to the codes by not sleeping with Berkelec's wife. He later breaks friendship, courtesy, and honesty and generosity by accepting her girdle that she offers him. She tells him that the girdle will protect him against the challenge with the Green Knight. The host later hunts for a red fox. Normally foxes are considered sly, sneaky, and deceitful. This represents Gawain perfectly because he keeps it happening with Berkelec's wife to himself until the host reveals him at the challenge. At the challenge, Gawain is stricken 3 times. The 3rd time is because the Green Knight knows that Gawain broke the knight's code of honor and was not faithful. Sir Gawain and the Green Knight allows the reader to understand that the motifs in this story correspond with the theme that honesty is key. Finally, in Le Morte d'Arthur, we see that the motif is highly and mainly focused around redemption. The Christian ideal of redemption provides strong detail throughout the epic story. We see characters such as Gawain, Guinevere, and Lancelot begging for forgiveness. Sir Thomas Malory allows this motif to correspond with one of the many themes throughout the story, that we all live in sin, but it is within our power to ask for forgiveness. The number 3 is repeated numerous times throughout the story of Le Morte d'Arthur. Sir Bedivere throws Excalibur into the water 3 times. He fails all times but the 3rd. This resembles Peter in the Bible denying Christ 3 times before the chicken crows. But unlike Peter, Sir Bedivere redeems himself the 3rd time. In addition, there are many women in the bard weeping for Arthur. 3 of them are queens. The number 3 is repeated several times more throughout Le Morte d'Arthur. These pieces of medieval literature correspond with how we are day to day. Daily, we sin, betray, and bend the rules. In doing so, today's world will always go hand in hand with the motifs of medieval literature.